evening, family. Around the world, Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean. Thank you all so much for joining on the inside. I hear with the brothers, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. This conversation going to be some trouble. But we hope to, dive real deep and really look into this topic of manhood, masculinity, and mental health. And we're in the month of November, and when somebody saw, I posted up the poster, they say, you made a typo, you spelled November, and that's what you mean November. I said, no, that is what it is, it's actually Movember. So I had to send them to do a little research to see exactly what it is about. And Movember is actually the month of November, and there's a concept where men are encouraged to grow the mustache. And the idea behind it is a form of highlighting. I have. Let me see who I have beard. Mustache, not beard. Right? But the idea behind it is to bring awareness, to mental health in particular. Our conversation, hopefully this evening, is going to touch that for sure, but we are going to be touching on other things that are also related to it. Yeah, so this evening I have
Quincy Guevara.
We'll say Kwashi.
No, I had to see this guy here earlier, and I had to work hard to keep him in check. All right? But, guys, this evening, I'm glad that I was able to have you all on the inside. We're waiting on our other brother, Marlon. He will be joining us a little later on. But before we get to the discussion, I have a little icebreaker. I like to do things. No, let's not get nervous already, right? Nothing to get nervous about. Yeah, what? I don't know the game, Would You Rather? Yeah. So let's see that.
Right.
You ever see that one, Cohen? No.
It's
just an option. Right. What's my when I'm on zoning, boy? Ooh, he's lucky, I'm telling you. But the idea behind it is you're making a choice between options, right?
Right.
So here it is. First one. Would you rather be Robert McCall from Equalizer or Brian Mills from Taken? So that would have been Denzel Washington character and
Denzel Washington.
I want to Liam Neeson.
I can see Taken,
Nah, boy. Denzel Washington.
Denzel.
Nah, he bad. And he black. So
that your premise there?
why not?
All right, okay. All right, Quincy. Quincy say.
Well, I call that from me, but I never seen those two movies.
Oh my gosh.
Quincy.
Yeah.
Quincy.
Because when I hear the names, the first two things come to mind is
But
sports.
Quincy, we born the same year.
Yeah, but I just never
You
watched
never
the
see
movies.
Equalizer. You had three,
I know
both shows had three.
I have three. I only see like pieces are taken, but I never see the whole movie. I never watched the movies.
Alright, now movie night up. Movie night.
Yeah.
Movie
We
night
have to
up.
do that, boy. Right, Quincy, tell me if you know this one. Right? We go to the next one.
Jesus
Would you
Christ.
rather be Dominic Toretto
Alright, okay.
from Fast and Furious or
Yeah, you know.
Yes, I know Fast and Furious. I know.
or Frank Martin from Transporter?
I never see Transporter.
I have one word for this.
I watch.
have one word for
Listen.
this. Family. Dominic Toretto. Family solves everything. Them went to space in a Pontiac.
Yeah.
Come on, family.
That alone had me concerned about watching that show.
How
The mere
you-
fact that they went to space.
In a Pontiac.
Yeah.
Nah, boy. Not even a Toyota.
I think the lost me at driving from one hotel to the next in the sky. Yeah, that was it for me.
Nah, they lost me when they jumped out of the plane.
Mhm.
The parachutes on the vehicle.
That actually, they just do that though.
That one blew my
Diesel
mind.
lost me when
But they don't do that.
he took a hit
Yeah.
and went all the way over an entire interstate to catch.
yeah.
You understand?
To catch what?
To catch
A
the
woman.
No, jeez. I
You
tell you.
start
Wait.
already.
Started.
Let's get it going.
One more. Bane or Joker?
Joker.
Batman.
Joker.
Bean boy.
Nah, Joker.
Nah.
Joker mad, boy. He put him in hospital, no.
Eh,
Bro, we here to talk about mental health.
Right?
And you sided with Joker.
Because our woman have him so.
Alright, bro. Alright.
And the backstory is real.
How mad? You have to be.
No, you know, yeah, boy.
Yeah, the backstory.
No, wait.
it was a series of stuff, but the breaking point was the woman
Exactly.
who he thought
Exactly.
he thought what I felt fall for him.
Oh yes.
How mad you
if
had
you look
to
at the
drop a
backstory, right?
hospital, boy.
Bane
Come
was
on, woman again.
Bane was born in darkness, you know.
Right?
So he grew up in that.
Right.
Joker had a turning point.
Correct. If you're
So-
born in darkness,
So which one do you think Bane might have been
Nah.
more resilient?
Yeah, he that's
than
more
Joker?
resilient because it's a turning point happened to Joker that make him reach where he was. You know?
But Bane
Bane
grew
grew
up.
up in
Joker,
it.
you
Yeah,
said?
yeah,
Bane
Bane or
grew
Joker,
up in
yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Joker,
Now boy, Bean boy.
Joker,
Yeah,
yes.
I would
Bean
Bane.
boy.
Nah.
The dark
Bean
was
was a
Never.
different kind of
Bean.
beast boy.
Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
care. I don't care. to be that kind of mad, you blow up a hospital, boy.
The darkness
You
would
be
never
mad to
betray
the hospital.
Bane.
That's a different level of mad.
I see what you're saying. I see what
And
you're
then
saying.
it didn't blow up first, and he makes sure to check
That
that
everything-
it blow up. Like mad, that is mad thing. Bane, you have done that.
Batman is actually one of my real favorites, eh? I ain't lying. I used to
Yeah.
know. I used to know. and watch that
The last one
trilogy and-
disappointed me a little bit, but
With,
Yeah.
with Bane cell?
no. But the last
With that
Batman
one?
was with
Oh,
this guy
the remake.
from oh gosh, boy, that movie.
Ben Affleck.
No, not
No, Ben Affleck. He was before.
The
And then
kind
one.
of scrawny
Oh,
Batman.
yeah.
And he look
The
fun.
Batman with no muscles. That Batman.
Oh, you could have a Batman with no muscles.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Right.
makes sense.
Baddest Batman for me, The Dark Knight. You see
Yeah.
that tumbler?
Yeah, that was.
Baddest
that was-
100%.
The psychology in that one too, eh?
Yeah,
was
boy.
real different.
That
too.
was
That had
dread.
them going on.
He really did.
You know,
Yeah.
actually, movies, the way they're doing movies now gonna change. They say
Yeah.
it gonna change because they're catering for people that on their phones. So they're straying away from strong storylines. Blow my mind.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like background noise. That's what movies heading. That's where movies heading. That's what they were saying.
And that sounds like they're going back.
Yeah, they're going
They're
back.
going back
They're
to
going back.
black and white.
Yeah.
But as women have a women have a thing to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
One-
I want to
one
start
thing-
with debunking. I'm gonna attempt to see if we could debunk this myth.
Mm-hmm.
I have
I'm
a
saying it a myth because I think
We are
the
going
experience
to
that I
try to
we're gonna try.
understand women.
No, I'm not gonna put you through. You're too young for that, bro. Don't do yourself that. Some of us who are wrong a little longer, don't do yourself that. Don't do yourself that. But here's what. There's a saying, and most times I hear women say it. They say men don't like to talk, and then sometimes they will add men don't like to talk about their feelings. I have my thoughts on that, but before I share mine, I want to hear from you all. Is that true?
Yes.
So men do like to talk.
Because of women.
I don't think that's true, but they made it kind of technical for you to really express how you really feel.
Correct.
You know,
Because
so-
they, as you say something and you start to open up, you're soft, you understand, you have no masculinity, and all kind of mad
He's a
thing.
girl.
He's a girl,
Yeah.
understand? All kind of,
So-
so it doesn't want to open up because then they're reaching from that to being judgmental and all kind of mad things, so I like to shut up.
All right. So there is a two-part question. Women say men don't like to talk, and they also say men don't like to
Yes,
talk.
most times they
about
hinge on that latter part when
on
they
their
say they like to
feelings.
talk about their
Well,
feelings.
we just sat here and talked for about half an hour non-stop, and I'm sure we could talk for about 3 hours.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Because they are no
So
women
that's the
here.
first part. Bro.
So you don't know if you was to incorporate one of
So, so I think it's more the second part of the questions where the question
Yeah.
where women would say men don't like to talk about their feelings. I would say it's true. I would
Mhm.
say
That's
that's
true.
Why you say it's true from your
I think as men, one, opening up, we see it as a risk of being vulnerable. We don't see vulnerability as a strength,
right.
and we tend to, because of survival skills from since you're small,
Yeah.
seeing life a particular way, being vulnerable is not the best thing. If
Like a soft spot.
it is, especially if you're being responded to a
Correct.
particular way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I would say they are right. They are right. Yeah.
You think that is something that probably through culture, eh? For
Yes.
men that cause us to
Yes. Because of course, with time, understanding emotional intelligence as a man, you could reach the place where you see vulnerability as a strength and
Mhm.
not a weakness.
And for you guys, the hesitation you feel is because to avoid that.
Yeah, it's to avoid, that judgment that some of them just come with, where you try to open up and try to express something, and all of a sudden you're soft, masculinity, and you doesn't want to try and open up, and then you get that kind of response, and then you're just like, okay, what do bother? It don't make sense. So stay there with that.
So is it that like sometimes, let's say, for example, if there's an issue that comes up and you want to express your personal feelings on it, because sometimes it might be an issue that comes up between both parties, right?
You're talking about men and women?
Men and women,
okay,
right?
Okay, yeah.
And for you to vent, I usually would vent very guardedly, right? Or to express, let me use that term, that might be better. To express exactly how you feel about what is happening. There's a hesitation, and are we saying that there is a hesitation in that regard because we feel that there might be a kickback? What do you think, Quincy?
I think as men, you have to use your judgment within yourself to know who you're opening up to. So it's like, I don't think necessarily it's a weakness.
I like that
because
point, yeah.
I wouldn't open up to a woman that I don't know personally or don't know what I've been through or what I'm going through to express something I feel or my thoughts on something personal or deep. So I think it depends on who you open up to. Like, I wouldn't open up to somebody or my personal life that I meet a month ago. I would open up to somebody I know for much longer. Like a family member, a spouse, So, but yes, it would have a little bit of hesitation, but I don't think that would be the main reason why I would not open up to a woman in general. So I think it varies.
Because I mean, we know for a fact that men do talk, and one of the things that when I hear women use that statement, because some use it, men already talk, but then they would, they'll try and zero in exactly on why they make the statement, which usually is always towards the emotional side. But when you're in an environment like in a barber saloon, and fellas, listen, now you can't stop. I'm telling you, right? You chilling
because there are no women there.
Bro, you still in
There
are no women there. So that's why I feel comfortable.
Even like sometimes I remember just recently, and this is something I think that really sparked my interest in that concept that fellas kind of hesitant to share their feelings. It was after a sweat. And one of the guys, he just eventually opened up. Right? Somebody fellas was actually just heckling him, and he opened up and said, boy, nah, he said, I can't do that, boy, because, my child mother, she doesn't make a real scene anytime she see me, looking to advance myself or do different things and whatever. So a lot of the guys started to pull back and were like, Pal, you can't allow a woman to do that to you. You understand? And in that moment, I saw a group of men, right, fellas just chilling together, and they started to open up about certain things that they were feeling, experiencing, and sharing amongst each other. So it caused me now, just as Quincy was actually sharing this now, that it actually caused me to think about this statement and realize that in some instances, really and truly, it's about the environment and who this opening up is taking place with. Right? Because sometimes, I mean, not all women, bro. Young grasshopper. But there are women who do make it hard. We know that, right? But I'm saying that in many instances, when it comes to men sharing their emotions, I think environment is important. I think environment is really, really important, because I feel like when fellas are comfortable, you really can't stop. You can't stop the engagement.
That's true.
It has been ongoing. So, when you started off and you were talking about that, almost like that historical aspect of men and their hesitation coming from that vulnerability as a result of, you exposing yourself like that. For you, and I just open up to all of us one time, who would have defined for you what manhood looks like or masculinity looks like? And at what point, so that's twofold, right? And at what point for you personally did you begin to actually define manhood and masculinity for yourself?
So the person, I would say, first because there were different times in my life where men influenced me, right? Different men. The first person, of course, was my dad.
Okay,
You know,
so you grew up,
yeah.
okay.
And he was very masculine,
Right.
you know, big beard, shaved head, you know.
Solid.
Yes,
One of them father, you
Right.
know, don't
yeah,
play.
you don't mess with my father, big man. You gonna get the belt, you gonna get loaded up. Yeah, you gotta walk that straight line.
Right.
So, growing up with my dad, seeing that, experiencing that was my first experience. I said, all right, that's what manhood is. That's what a man is. You understand?
Right.
And you don't take shippiness from nobody. You understand?
Yeah.
And as I started having mentors, I started recognizing, so there are different versions of men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't remember the second part of the question.
Well, the second part was in terms of at what point you would have, as an individual, personally define what manhood would mean to you.
Yeah. Well, one of my mentors said something once, and it stayed with me. He said, when you meet someone with good traits, steal it. So I started meeting men with good traits and taking it. And before I knew it, I had developed this bank of traits.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
And I could have called it me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when, I can't put my finger on when, but it was, seeing
In
all
that
these-
journey.
on that journey, being able to collect these things along the way, to then say, oh, okay, I think I'm figuring this manhood thing out.
You both guys as well had your dads.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Quincy? In terms
Well,
of your
before I reach on to the topic of my dad, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Troy. Yeah, Troy.
No, I
Never
didn't
seen
see
the
that
movie,
one. Yeah.
Alright.
Don't be trying to
Well-
show that. I mean, like,
Now,
was a warrior.
no. my first initial thought of masculinity was, I don't know if you know the guy from the movie Troy, Achilles, the warrior, right? That was my first, like, what I envisioned manhood to be.
Yeah.
Warrior, fighter, battlefield, this, that. But as I get older and I start to see other men around me, where it really turned for me to realize what masculinity really is was when I started work.
okay.
Yeah, it was when I started work. Cause first I did construction with my dad and I see how hard it is to provide for a family. I don't have no family. I just a laborer. I'm not doing half as much as the work he doing. So simple traits I see he will do. Even if he go to work, come back, go on another job, not long come home, he would cook. He would still try to be there to whatever the family bonding we had to do. And I think about it and I was like, this masculinity thing is not really like how I envision it from the movie Troy, where
Right, okay.
it's a big lone wolf fighting against the world. No, it's being able to provide for your family, being able to keep up your responsibilities and still be there and be able to express yourself, be able to do all what your family requires and to be sane, to be mentally sane, because you could do all of that and just be zoned out, you know.
True.
You could be a provider and just zone out.
Yeah.
And then you will lose yourself.
Yeah. Present but not present.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I learned that through my dad. He had to have like a balance with it now. So he had to be able to be the man and provide and still be able to have yourself. So it's like the things you like, basketball,
Yeah, boy.
cricket.
Yeah, that's
this,
big.
that.
That's real big.
Balance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
real big.
That's really where I learned it from. Yeah. Dog, I just be doing a lot of thinking. Dog.
No, but the thing is, what I mean, from what it is you're saying, right? No, that in itself is work, eh?
Yeah.
Was that
That work, yeah, that ability to know all of these responsibilities hinged on you, and then still show up home and still be present in moments.
Yeah.
It's not easy because I know, and I come into my boy say, but I know of men who their mind is set. I have to provide.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is it. Once I provide, once I bring what the house need, that is it. Yeah,
I do my part.
I do
Nothing
my
else,
part.
yeah.
Everything else, find a way.
There's a lot more
Yeah,
than that I come
yeah.
to realize. There's a
Yeah.
lot more.
And we have a lot of men still living with that
Yeah.
perception of manhood.
And that's dangerous, I think, yeah?
Yeah,
That
it's
is
crippling.
dangerous, yes.
Yeah, because you know it's almost like you're just partly functioning in your capacity as a
And
man.
then life is filled with seasons. What if you go through a season where you can't provide? Then all of a
Correct.
sudden, what? You're not a man anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh, we gotta get to that point because we're looking at now at what are some of the stuff that men would have initially hinged their manhood on.
Yeah.
That in many instances, because remember now we have some independent women out there.
Yes. Yes. What you
You go with that. How was that experience for you in terms of
Rough.
his impact?
Rough, but seeing him do as much as he could, he wasn't the softy, type. He was that tough love
Oh, okay.
type of father where don't have nobody advantage you. You fall along and I come and pick you up for yourself.
Travel.
Literally, yeah.
Travel.
Oh.
So, but seeing him provide and still trying to involve in my life, so he was the reason I actually got into basketball.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
since I still grew up, saw him playing basketball, and that was the thing for me where here what I want to follow in his footsteps. So he also providing like here what he can be on his last, and he would say here what when he okay take it, I go figure out myself. So for me, that's what defined manhood for me as well, where sacrificing like your last for your family, because you wouldn't do that for friends or for,
Right.
like for your family. That sacrificing like the last that you have to make sure your children or your wife good. For me, that's manhood.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Facts.
Me personally, I didn't have the opportunity to, and I had to clarify this because I want people to understand. I don't refer to my father as being an absent father, but I didn't grow up with him.
Okay.
Right? One of the things I saw with my dad is that education was a big thing for him. So you find that when he has school closed, his school closed Friday. The first Monday in the holidays, I have my books on the book list because he contacting my mother, get our book list, and by Monday, Tuesday latest, them books there. And the idea is once you get that, you have the whole holiday to go through them books and them.
What?
So when the term start,
You're on point.
you're on point. And
So when the vacation happened,
No
it's
vacation.
somewhere in between there.
Work. Study.
But
work.
the thing is, and what I realized is that so I had to pick, and similar to you, Cohen, I had a similar experience whereby because I didn't have him resident in my home, a male figure, I had to look at various men and I should put it symbols. And why I'm saying symbols is because there were television shows, there were movies that I saw men in certain capacity, and I started to ask, that is what man does, So I started to try and process that.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one instance in particular. I could remember one solid advice from my father. What I mean, like advice that he literally gave to me. Outside of that was just real basic conversation. Like, the good thing, and my mother hand over, she had hand free, and he gone. Right? If his visits last like 45 minutes, something, that is like a real golden time.
Wow.
Right? It was so bad where he didn't even know, like, he wouldn't even touch base with us for our birthdays. Once he came visiting, he didn't even know it was my birthday.
Wow.
And when I say, hey, the child birthday, and I was like, cool, the man newspaper he had.
is that what they go?
Yo.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had a challenge, honestly, especially when it came to parenting. And when my first daughter, when I heard I was having my first child, that was a fearful moment for me because I didn't know what exactly this supposed to look like. But in terms of our experiences, how would we say how would we put a value towards fathers and their involvement in the lives of their children? How would you see that? I mean, you spoke about the fact that he was tough,
He was.
right? But you could still identify those elements of his the significance of his presence and what you were able to extract,
Mhm.
right? What would you say in terms of his importance in your life? Could you see that there was, or there's any benefit to the way that he would have treated, or fathered you, you know, as you were?
That one point of don't let anybody advantage you. That's one thing I take from him.
Mhm.
See, bullying, I was always surprisingly very quiet, held back type. yeah.
Surprising.
Surprising.
I frightened to ask him what happened, ma'am.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah.
So, but that aspect where do not let anybody watch you and feel they could try you.
Yeah.
Don't be violent and lash out and
Yeah.
Mhm.
but don't let anybody watch you and feel they could advantage you and feel they could bully you.
Yeah.
That's what I take from him.
Okay.
So that aspect of here, he's not a fool or he's not a duppy,
Mm-hmm.
but carry yourself a certain way.
Yeah.
Let
Okay.
people watch you and say, yeah, what? He's not the one.
Yeah.
He might be
Mm.
laughing and cool and thing, but let me not try to get on his bad side.
Yeah.
And that's what I take from that.
Yeah.
So,
Why you see that as being as being important or significant?
because I think a lot of people, a lot of men especially, get taken advantage of.
Okay.
So like I have some women who will watch a man and have zero respect. Just based on how you look, based on how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
When you change that whole demeanor, and I wouldn't say looks, but how you carry about yourself and
Yeah.
assist me, how you talk, how you just even walk
Mm-hmm.
in aspect, people will look at you and say, hey, what? Nah, let me not try to get on this person offside because we don't know what can happen. Because it is really what the quiet fool and laughing ones and think, yeah, he goofy, he cool. And then when you get on the bad side, you realize, hey, what? That's not the person to mess with.
Yeah.
Make a mistake.
Yeah.
So that was just it for me.
Okay. How about you guys?
I feel the same way where you say you talk about, but I took like a different trait from my dad. It's like whereas he would take the trait where it's like don't let nobody take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was never the type to be taken advantage of, so he never passed that down where it's like walk a certain way, talk a certain way, because he always had the respect that a man would give him.
Okay.
What I took from him was the ability to, well, not the ability, but to be a provider. Try my best to be a provider. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like seeing how he would carry about himself. Yes, I would took that as well, but mostly seeing how he sacrificed and work. My dad works 8 to 4, 8 to 3,
Right.
and then from that he would go on another job just to try to help. Cause my mom doesn't work and me and my sister, well, we now eventually start to do our own thing.
Right.
So it was mainly him for the most of my childhood. So seeing him go through all these things is like it conditioned my mind to say, well, alright, no matter how much challenges come your way,
Yeah.
as a man, I have to be able to see it through. I have to be able to prevail and be there. So like I would say that that is very, very important in determining the type of man that you want to become, especially in today's society.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it.
How about you, Cohen?
I think the question was how important a
Yeah.
father is.
Yeah.
I would say there's nothing that could replace a father's role and presence in the home. That's how important it is.
Mhm.
Nothing, even if a woman is really holding it down.
Yeah.
And big up to all the single moms.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
It's
for real.
still, there still is a void that only a father, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
could fill. Yeah. So that's how important. It's extremely important for the upbringing of boys and girls.
Yeah.
Our father is, that's priceless.
Correct.
That's priceless.
Like Gary plays that.
Yeah.
And I think both is important when you say boys and girls, because sometimes we think that a father's importance or significance is when there's a boy child.
Mhm.
Nope.
Girl children is just as important.
Correct.
It's
Last
just
night-
as important.
Sometimes it's actually the opposite, where
Mhm.
the fathers is for the daughters and the mothers is for the sons.
Hmm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah,
Hmm.
facts. Last night I saw a reel on Instagram, I think it was, where a guy was checking for this young lady and her father was talking to him, and he was like, when he going back inside, he's telling his daughter and his wife, like, that is not it. You know?
Mhm.
That young man,
Yeah.
that is not it. And
That's important.
he
Yeah.
took his daughter and carried her out on a date, and he was explaining to her that I'm doing this so that you would understand how
Yeah.
valuable you are and how you are supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, so things like that When a father does that for a daughter, she understands her value after experiences like that. So
Because fathers is no.
yeah. Fathers is no.
Yeah.
Fathers is no.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a man that is connected to what is happening around. You know
You
what is
know.
out there.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you know what is
So
out
as somebody walks through the door,
Yeah.
that is it. You
Yeah.
don't know already. Get out. Understand? Get out. Go from here. March.
I remember when I was checking out my wife. I didn't meet her father until probably like later on. And short guy. And I remember he trying to size me up. Right? No, I mean he was like up. Yeah, I'm telling you, he was up like about. He tried to size me up like
You is what 6'1"?
6'3".
6'3".
He is probably about 5'10".
Wow.
And he was
go
up
ahead.
for each other and still I was still watching him eye to eye. But it
I think get this straight, right? You just shut on us on me, right? He's 5'10". You trying to set up a man who's 6'3"? What sense that make?
Confidence, what's the confidence?
What's the confidence there?
Like, you want to look up to the man.
No, but then too in a position like that, what do you want to do? You gotta do something.
Yeah.
I already laugh. I'm sorry.
In my mind I felt like you serious.
Nah,
I was
you
like,
couldn't
come
laugh
on,
out
man.
there.
Nah, I couldn't laugh. But I give him a little credit because in that instance he was not I think in their relationship he eventually left sometime, so he was away for some time. So when I eventually did meet him and I introduced myself and whatever, but that was one of the things. I think that was one of those experiences that caused me. I remembered my daughters and them were like working at 3 and 6 months. And I promising them, I said, listen, I said, no matter what, I am going to be present in their life as best as I can. You understand?
Yeah.
Because again, speaking with my fee and you see that missing element of that father figure, and how he would be, as I said, to be the example and say, hey, this is how you should be treated. Even sometimes there's the advice, because it is, you have so many young ladies. Let me share this experience. This was one. I'm an educator, and I remember a young lady. A few of them, they're in class, and she's talking amongst her friends, and the girl started to cry. They talking and something, they asking about boyfriend, is that some boy in the school, and I get us talking with them. I just rapping, that's basic rap. I tell them, nah, I say, nah, they're young, don't have no for that time, all they done this, build all this stuff. And I talking to them this way, right? Yes, and I do it all in school. I have plenty children in that instance, right?
Yeah, boy.
What? How you reach there from that?
And poor girl crying.
No, but here's why she was crying. When I asked, I said, everything okay? She said, I don't have anybody that talks to me like this and about these things.
Wow.
And that helped me to realize that there is really a cry out there by a lot of you.
Yeah.
Male
Facts.
and female, boys and girls.
Yeah.
They need that male presence.
Yeah.
And
a real male presence. And
yes.
not the counterfeit.
Yeah.
The men who posing as men and when you check them.
Come on, picture from school and then after, you didn't see them after.
Yeah.
Months down the road. You might see months or twice.
Yeah.
But guys, as you all touched on that, what are some of the things that as men sometimes we feed ourselves, we feed our minds that causes us to have some skewed thoughts about manhood? What are some of the things that we expose ourselves to that causes us to have sometimes a tainted mentality?
Bro, number one on the list right now is social media, because it have like 1,000 videos, 1,000 people out there that want to give you advice. If he's not doing this, he's not a real man. If he's not doing that, if he's not this, he's not a man. If he's not... Sometimes I look at these videos and I build in my jokes.
I don't joke.
I am like,
I don't be joking.
You don't be joking?
No,
You just be upset, you angry.
Vex.
Yeah.
Vex. Vex. You understand? Vex.
Yeah. But it'll be amazing for me that these are the things that are going out there. What is be sad, however, is have men out there that would believe these things.
Yeah, that is,
You know, because they're not exposed to the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think those are some of the things that really push men or have men.
I don't want to see if you're not buying your can't pay your rent. Excuse?
Hey, no, you saying that? I was listening to a radio program. I was
Mhm.
traveling from work that evening, listening to a radio program, and
Yeah.
the guys were talking, and they were saying that you know, like they were asking how you rate a man,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you know a lot of females calling him.
Yeah.
A lot of females calling him.
Yeah.
And they started to work out. They say, well, he was asking like, how you rate a man, and you know, like in terms of like, if he giving you allowance,
Yeah.
what you rate him?
Yeah.
If he taking care of the dinner
Yeah.
bill,
Yeah.
right? How he financing your outlook,
Yeah.
right? And they are actually have women calling and saying, well, yeah, I will say, I will give him a 5 if you're doing this. If you're doing this and this, you might get 10. If you're doing this and this, you might get 7.
Yeah.
Tubes.
You know what's the crazy thing? I had this conversation just about a few days ago where it was like how women have all these expectations of men, and not just men but like young men.
Yeah.
Because like how women my age will expect me to be doing things that I don't even do for myself. But I think I got maybe once or twice a month telling me groceries, buy nails, buy hair, buy this, buy that. Bro,
Don't forget the eyelashes.
eyelashes, 'cause that's a big thing.
I live in home and you
All
only pay
kind
your
of
rent.
things
I
that
live
could
in
never
home.
make sense.
That makes sense.
And then
Yeah.
I can't do those
I
things.
think
so
I think we still had to not put all women in one basket, because not all women like that.
Not all.
Not all.
Okay, long grass
I
offer.
see that. I see that you had some bad experiences.
You know.
But bro,
No, I
bro,
vouch for it.
bro, I could
nah,
tell you.
it was real bad. I tell you.
It was
Mhm.
really bad. Horrible.
Wow.
Very. Like, what you would think a bad breakup is,
Yeah.
a million times that.
Things that would turn Joker into Joker. That he just
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
the Joker background.
Correct.
That's all.
The
Things that-
foundation
Yeah,
for villain.
yeah, things that all he need.
Yeah.
He just need the makeup and the
Things
thing.
that will really send a man mad. Things that will really send a man mad
Right.
and really make a man end up in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Guys, yeah, well, you had to go to a break.
Yeah.
You had to give your boy a little chance.
Yeah, he had to calm down.
Yeah, you had to calm down a little bit. So we'll take a short break and we'll be back. And hopefully we shall have our boy Marlon on the inside with us when you come back.
Well, I will let them know, well, they're now searching for themselves. This world has nothing for them, and they won't be the first, and they would not be the last.
To have a lot more open conversations with other men, because we have the stigma where this is happening to me, but like I don't think anybody else.
I used to do a lot of motivational videos on TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have hundreds of videos on there. At that point, I did a video where I say, when you hit rock bottom, you don't know where to go again. The only way to go from there is up.
It's up.
And that is
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Alan is on the inside. Yes, he's finally here. He's finally here. What's that? Anybody know what the score? I know Trinidad playing Jamaica. Trinidad playing Jamaica today. So they have no confidence.
I know it.
0.
So they already feel they
I
can.
put my face somewhere where
Nah, but wait.
Yeah, boy, them fellas.
Business.
has proven.
I do business.
So where the Patriots is?
It is
Even
not
though,
yet.
even
It
though,
is not yet. It is not yet.
even though,
Oh, I thought I gave myself,
even though, right? We think to ourselves, well, not me, I being hopeful. Even though the younger ones think to themselves, all right, they turn out no hope. We still trini, bro. We still are the ones in the corner clapping.
Yeah,
No, I in the corner batting.
Them fellas all day with a red, white, and black flag.
Correct.
So we had a clap.
Correct. And I had that
crying, why they
conversation
cry?
just
Even if you
today.
crying.
Because everybody was like,
Jamaican.
no, boy,
Yeah,
that-
boy.
no.
Nobody
But then
behind them.
that was my question. I said, but where the patriotism though?
Yeah.
I think it's
We had to
because,
go there
I think it's,
support
I think it's
guys
because of
now.
how poorly we have been doing and how much money they pour into football to just get nothing out of
Yeah,
it.
but still, bro, it's like you going out to play, go or into basketball,
Right.
and your family come to see you play, and every time you come on the silence, it's like, yeah, dog, we can't clap for you.
Yeah, but
Because-
come on.
we were-
I have people doing that. I have people doing that. I have brethren, I know, we walk into that locker room, we can't come for you when I wear that shit.
Wait, nah, dog, you gotta get
When
some
I
good
was
pressure.
in school, when I was in
Yeah,
school
your support
ball,
system.
Yeah.
when I was in school ball,
Yeah.
and we was playing, we was having a bad game.
Yeah.
The coach sit down, cock up. This team is real shit, boy. With my school logo, big on his shit, dead serious.
Yo.
Dead
If
serious.
I was
Yeah,
the
that's-
principal, he would
Yeah,
not be the
he,
coach.
he that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He literally out
Because
loud. And we
let me
only
tell you
got
something. Team spirit is a real thing, eh?
Yeah.
And support. That's why in all into basketball, you see home games.
Home game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Home game,
Home
like,
games
with
is
the
give
energy.
that team a certain amount of energy and vibe. So it's
Yeah.
important to know your nation on your back. They with you.
Everybody.
Yeah, bro.
And they've been promoting, they've really been pushing.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
come on. We had to support this.
Yeah.
What time the game supposed to start?
Eight o'clock. I think it's
Oh,
o'clock.
I thought it was supposed to start 7.
I can imagine that
So
traffic
we
in
will
South
monitor and
Yeah,
see
it's
what,
crazy.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
imagine that.
But yeah, nah, the support is important though. That
Yeah.
support is important.
Yeah,
they
man.
need to know to have the country behind them. You know, want to know the country behind them?
Even when you play now and you have like a school back in here, like when a bucket
That
score and that
boost.
chill you feel.
Yeah, that
they're really
boost.
behind you.
That's
Come
it.
on, come on, yeah.
Well, we used
So
to win,
even so,
We never used to win, I don't know.
even if
my school,
even if and that is the power of sports. Even if these guys do win, you see that support, you see
Yeah.
that they score one goal and everybody on the
Correct.
It could be
Come
4-1.
on,
That
come
one
on,
goal
yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
That go and still give you a little
Yeah.
booster.
Nah, I the
Yeah,
score
nah.
is 4-1 and the game and then I go on. You stay, why
Nah,
stay?
you just sit down to the wire.
bro, you need that therapist, sir.
Yeah, boy, you sit down to the wire, but you can't be jumping
like,
around on
what
the
am I
level. So.
saying?
Yeah.
You go towards your side there, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, that.
And right, let me say, like, when he was in school, but we beat our side 89-4,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Nah, man.
What you staying
That-
for?
That's unbelievable.
From time that team reached 50 points and you still on 2.
Yeah.
What are you staying to see?
No.
What is there else to see?
I blame the coach on the other side.
Yeah.
He said I
It's
say.
the support.
Yeah.
It comes down to the support.
And this is the
and the
thing.
morale behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
You're saying win or lose. Yeah, so we have
we
things to
behind them.
correct.
Yes.
We have things to fix.
Yes.
But still
Still
here.
there. Yeah.
And who knows when they fix these things down the road, they could be a star team.
Nah,
But you would have been the one bailing on them. They're gonna say, nah, not he.
Not he.
We used to see him even early.
You ain't getting no free ticket when you decide to do good. They're leaving you up.
I don't go anywhere. That's about TV in our life. Shoot for a reason. So, it's not gonna affect
But
me.
those principles are true to life, you know.
Yeah,
Those are
it is.
principles,
Yes,
even
it
in
is. Yes.
relationships.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
This is to life.
Yes.
And man, I'm glad because we were talking just before we came back in, and our boy was saying he was just sharing an experience. Now, you know, they say that men oftentimes do deal well with certain negative experiences. Try to keep it nice and political.
Right.
Yeah, they don't do well, right?
And That's it.
Oh my god.
No. They say for some reason they speak of men being weak in two main areas. They talk about them being weak emotionally and mentally. They say women could trump us in that regard. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that women are more emotionally fit
Yes, they are.
and mentally
And wicked.
and
No.
Oh my god.
let me hear.
Bro.
I've met some girls who dog. They run the game real dread.
But that is the minority. I feel like the majority of
I don't
women
think that's what he mean. I don't think that's what he asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in aspect of what you mean?
Yeah,
as
so
in,
I want to know in terms of emotional,
they're more in touch with the emotions. I can
they
say that
definitely
for
are.
sure.
But in terms of the strength,
Emotional
that they're able to
intelligence.
manage their emotions and control it
Hell no.
and harness it to maybe direct it to where they want it to go and that kind of stuff.
I would say yes. Women are more that.
More that?
Yeah.
I think women have the space and they are given the leeway and the understanding to express themselves. Men, on another part, they will come with the resistance. They don't have that space to express themselves effectively. Now, I believe there are expressions, right? It may not be positive, but there are expressions. The silence in the man is the next one thing that we have to look at. But I believe where the woman is concerned, because women talk,
Yeah.
right? They have their sisters club, they have their girl talk, they have they're expressive, and society has made that normal, right? So they have that space. But when it comes to the men, the expression is not always met with that chair.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of back that down because we're not supposed to be so emotional, or we're not supposed to be in touch. And I believe that's a societal thing that have been placed on man.
You made mention of the silence. Is there any value to the silence?
Now, we have to understand there's a difference between silence and quiet.
Okay.
Right? So I could have quiet time where I step away, I reflect, I have an understanding, I do some introspection, and then now I respond.
Okay, that would be
No,
the silence.
That is quiet.
Quiet. Okay.
Now,
okay.
silence is something totally different. Silence is where now I remove myself from the situation and I say I don't want to have nothing to do with that thing.
Correct.
So, and then it brings me to think the other part, you know, that little saying that they say silence is consent. Right? So I ask that question, is it really? Because I could be silent about a thing but not in agreement with it.
Yeah.
I choose to be silent because I don't have the space to communicate. Right? And even in the act of communication, sometimes, and all of us, we listen to respond, but we don't listen to understand.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes before the person even finish saying what they're saying, you done responding to it already
Yeah,
without
if I have
that
a response already.
understanding. So if I'm met with that constantly, my next resolve is to just step back and
Just like play out.
that's like, okay, cool, I have nothing to say here.
So scenario. Fella love off on a sister and the sister play him all wrong. Only to realize that I was just it. She just play him all wrong because her interest was somewhere else. Eventually realize that he get properly played.
Take it away. Take it away.
Properly played. In terms of the emotional, that emotional roller coaster, right? Do you think that the silence for a man in that instance there is a healthy thing?
No.
Why you say no?
I would say no because now you are in your own thoughts. And even in silence, there's conversations being had. Right? And you are in that space where you're already hurt, you're already disappointed. There's very little positivity coming to you. So, and a type of spirit or a type of vibe feeds on those things. So that's why people, when you feel depressed, what do?
Yeah.
You shut away from
Self-medicate.
everybody else.
Yeah.
You want to be in this darkness.
Mhm.
You want to be alone,
Mhm.
right? But conversations are being had, but it's not the right type of conversation. So that's why I say it may not be the best thing at that point.
Yeah.
Now you can step aside, but you must be able to have the conversation with someone or talk to someone, or guess you will dig yourself in a pit,
Yeah.
right? And that could spill into so many things. Yeah, bro, because now you have, after you come out there with all this negativity,
Yeah.
right? And then the abuse start,
Mhm.
substance abuse, verbal abuse, whatever, because now that's the only way
Mhm.
you can't express yourself. And that's why murder, suicide,
Mhm.
and these things
Yeah.
are higher with men.
Men.
And then is the right soundboard. You
Correct.
can't just talk to any and anybody. You gotta have the right
Yeah.
people around you.
Correct.
Because you see, when I'm thinking that, you know, how do men find, because you made mention that sisters have it, ladies have it. They will have a best friend,
Mhm.
and what's men, they don't even need a best friend. They just need another woman.
That's it.
Yeah, once this situation happen to them, they have another one. They could just go and they will just vent, they will just talk
Yeah.
thing and
Yeah.
whatever. And but a man ain't going to the next fella and say, boy, you know this woman do so and so.
But why?
On-
But why?
That's a very good question.
Why? Because we ourselves will come down and next fella. Boy, what's wrong with you? Why you so soft?
Yeah.
Is a man up now, boy? You understand? Shake yourself and move on. Because that's what we've been taught,
Yeah.
even from childhood.
Mm.
You fall long, hey, what you crying for?
Shake
Boys, you're not supposed to
Yeah,
cry.
we say, well, make it better.
You know,
the
shake up,
tough
get up and
upbringing.
move again.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have always been taught that. So even man to man,
Mm.
it's a challenge. You understand? But you know, spaces like these and creating this space like these is what we need more of.
Yeah.
And I applaud the fact that we're actually having these type of conversations
Mm.
because it's needed.
Yeah.
But
You
is
understand?
that important though? Is it
To be-
important to
to
have
be-
the
to
man
be
up? Come on,
fair.
get yourself together, get up.
To be
Yeah.
It is.
Mm.
It is important, right? But I think
situations.
we, yes, you have to know when and how and to what extent. You know, sometimes we just go from one extreme to the next.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
You
is
understand?
true. Yeah.
And finding the balance. Yes, you have to man up, you have to take responsibility, all of that.
Mm.
But it cannot just be about that because I have feelings too, bro.
Yeah.
You understand? I
Yeah.
have feelings.
But if you have, let's say for example, you have a man who, because you know men carry a certain amount of responsibility, and you know, as I said, women are allowed and they are free to tap into their bank of emotions. Yes, I was really listening, guys. I was listening again to our podcast. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about. He made a very interesting analogy. He said, think about emotions like crayons. He said, you know, it have these 64 color box, and then it have the
Seven.
the 7 one.
Yep,
He said the woman is the one that had the 64 and using all the colors. The men that have the 7 or the 8,
And
and
those
they still don't use it
one,
4.
right.
He said,
Yep.
you still don't use it. That's how people have it. So is it that we have created an environment where men are boxed into certain expressions, and when you step outside of that you are told to man up, or you're not being a real man, right? And I mean the question that Cohen asked is one worth considering. You know, is that statement, if I get it correctly, is that statement necessary? Right, because I think at least if I gathered what he would have been implying, he could correct me, Cohen, is that statement causes the man to feel devalued as a man because you're being told to step up as a man. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm expressing these emotions, you're actually telling me I'm not being a man.
Yep.
I understand what you. That's not what I was saying, but I totally understand what you're saying. What I was saying is, at some point, we still are men, and there is a place for that masculine energy where we know, all right, I've been in this position long enough. It's time for me to get up now.
Okay.
You know,
To
so
be fair, with that entire thing. When everything went down with me,
Mm-hmm.
and the first person actually went to was somebody from the court.
Ah, okay.
First person that I went and talked to, and he didn't shut it down like, oh, God, just a woman, it's gonna get a next one. He was like, nah, you gotta deal with this because this is a lot worse than how it regularly goes. You had to deal with this, and you had to check yourself and make sure that you don't lose yourself in this process.
Yo,
And
big up
make
to that.
Yeah,
Big up to that soul, yeah.
It's like
For
make
real.
sure you don't go
Real
mad.
brother.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in what I would have discovered, it had more. And he was like, you see what you see, that's it. You don't need any more answers. Don't go and look for any more answers. Don't go and try to harm nobody. You see what you see,
Yeah.
take what you get and go your way. And then see about fixing yourself.
Correct.
And that's what he told me.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah,
That's
man.
all good
Yeah.
too. I like the latter part where you said, fixing yourself. Because I think that a lot of men, I don't feel we believe in healing.
what we just do
I don't know.
is, and I see time and time again, man get hard. People going through a hard time. Gym, running, some type of physical activity. So they put their emotions and their
Yeah.
thoughts into that
Yeah.
to fuel that. But then after that now, they're still there. The
Yeah.
emotions still
You
there.
have not dealt with
They
this.
haven't dealt with it.
Yeah.
I want to ask the same question again. Is the female dynamic and the male dynamic similar? Can we deal with things the way women deal with things as men? Because yes, finding that safe space to talk is important.
Yeah.
But is there a way for men to do it that's different from how a woman would?
I feel
That's
it
my
should.
question.
I feel it should be.
The paradigm is different. Women and men, totally different
Yeah.
to human beings.
Mm.
So I hear what you're saying, and I want to agree with it to an extent that the way we will handle something is totally different. But still, the commonality of dealing with it,
Okay.
finding, just like what he said, because sometimes what happens when the feelings are suppressed,
Yeah.
we now find other avenues
Yeah.
That may not be healthy.
that may not be healthy. So I will not be able to talk home
Yeah.
about go in the bar.
Right. Yeah.
Some men
Yeah.
might go
After.
And
In the gym.
in the bar,
Mhm.
The kind of
fellas welcome
kind of
me.
soundboard is that
You
there?
understand?
Yeah.
So that is the other dynamic.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah.
we have to try to create the avenues and
Facts.
find that space
Yeah.
in
Facts.
which we could deal with it.
Yeah.
We're not comparing ourselves. The woman is woman. Their species are different.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And because of the fact that they were always given the space.
Yeah.
You know, so it's easy
It's
for
natural.
them.
Natural.
You
for them
understand?
to-
Not just taking away the feelings and the hurt and anything from women,
Yeah.
but because they have always have the community.
Yeah.
You understand? I find men are now trying to find that space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or even try to think of having the conversation, because to this day we still have people who would not accept even this type of conversation with men,
Right.
because
Yeah.
like all is fellas.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Why?
are we talking
Why?
Why are we talking about this?
All they're not even made to be like that though. You understand? Which I find is crazy. You
Yeah.
understand? So it's like, wow.
Yeah, could you gonna say something?
I was just going to touch on what he said. Is like, I don't think it's very focused on making the space, but really just finding it. Because, like, for instance, the basketball court, that is where I just go just to relax. And I don't really be going through a lot per se compared to others.
Right.
But little things I be going through, when I go on the court and I see a few people and we play a basketball and we lime after, I take a few drinks, and it's a nice safe space.
Yeah.
I feel as though there's a nice therapy session because
Right.
men, I don't know about everybody, but
Yeah.
I don't think some men does believe in therapy. I don't think they need therapy, but in truth and in fact, any sort of activity you do that you enjoy would be considered therapy.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
Easier mental.
Mine is a
Is-
dangerous place.
Is it
Yeah.
though that you don't really necessarily have to talk about the issue, but once you're in that space, it
I-
still is
I-
therapy?
I feel as though to an extent, because yes, the problem is still there. At the end of it, you're still going back to face the same conversations you never had. So you'll be overthinking within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though it's through those little sessions, somebody might make a small joke and somebody else might expand on it,
Yeah.
and then they will touch on a topic that you're going through and you don't even know that they're going through.
So
it.
it's almost like it's almost organic. That's
Correct.
because
It's
of
not forced. It's not the main topic.
On that
Right.
court, you wouldn't believe how much men dealing with the same thing.
right.
You wouldn't
Correct.
believe it.
It's true.
So as that come up and everybody just come together and say, we're talking about it, you wouldn't believe how much men dealing with the same
I
So
thing.
it's come, everybody's sharing their experiences
Correct.
in there, and you get
So
to-
it now becomes a safe space for the same issue that everybody or the majority of us been going through, and just afraid to talk to someone one-on-one about it because they don't know how you would feel. You don't know if they might judge you. You don't know them
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
The trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The trust
trust
factor,
becomes
yeah.
there.
Because
Women oftentimes, I mean, a lot of women do ascribe to counseling, right?
Yeah.
And again, I feel it because there's a comfort in them talking. But, you tell her brother,
That's exactly what I said.
you talk to her brother like, yo, you need to go and do some what?
For me to sit down
You
and
understand?
pay at 350 to go by a therapist and just talk.
You understand?
It's like,
yeah,
to me
this is
that,
how
that
feel,
I
you know,
don't,
it's-
I will feel at home because I don't know how to.
Yeah,
Not 350.
yeah,
Small?
like a government one, government office one.
My
a
friend,
15-minute session.
my friend did therapy in Bounzo. 400 for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Government.
Not to say you're bashing people who do therapy. You know,
No. We're
No,
not,
no,
we're not doing
I-
that, guys. We're
I
not doing
think
that. Yeah,
therapy is
that's
It's
therapy.
extremely
important,
important.
But
yeah.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary 'cause
Very
you
important.
need to open up your mind
Mhm.
and to deal with these emotions.
Yeah.
Because if you keep suppressing that, you will eventually go mad.
And I think that's why we have the type of youth, and I'm not trying to pong the youth, like some of the
Mhm.
type of youth we have
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
where we had to have police in schools.
Correct.
Come
Yeah,
on,
boy.
you know.
Correct.
It's,
Listen, I even with recently with the introduction of the police and them, you wouldn't believe how disconnected from authority children are.
Yeah.
And again, it starts from the home
Mhm.
because they don't have a respect for the authority in the home.
Mhm.
People don't realize how serious that is when it comes to the society.
Yeah,
Because if home that is not being established,
yeah. Then
school and stuff,
yeah, you can't tell me nothing.
I don't
Miss-
think some students these days understand that here what you could easily get thrown in a jeep and that is it for you.
Yeah,
They don't understand that.
yeah.
They don't understand once you become violent, not just to authority, but to the people around you, you are now considered a threat.
Yes.
And you have to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Like how a threat would be dealt with.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't get that. They don't know what it's like to see 4 men 4 or 5 times your size come and hold you and throw you in. They don't know what I feel like.
Yes.
They don't know what it is to go in a station and sit down with actual criminals and a holding cell.
Because
I had a-
again, in their mind, they're not exposed to
I had a
consequences.
Consequences.
You
I had a
understand? They're not
uncle who
exposed to that.
didn't pay a traffic ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually arrested him for that. And he was like, he sat down in a holding cell in the station, and the man to his left now murdered his wife, covered in blood. They don't, and he said that was the maddest experience ever. Everybody in here had a different story.
Correct.
And there's the man to my left just murdered his wife, covered in blood, dripping in blood. And he just sitting quiet, not talking to nobody, and he's like,
Yeah, I
if
would
these youths
not want to be missing
experience
honestly, because you
this,
don't know what's going on in
or
there.
even, like I had a friend, she's worked in the jail, and she said, jail is not a nice place. You don't want to be inside there. It
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
as nice as people think it is. You know.
And
It's
if
a-
you think it's not nice, it's still worse.
it's,
Yeah.
it's still worse.
It's glamorized, you know.
But that's the
Yeah.
point I was just going
Yeah.
to make, because we have
Glamorized.
glorified
Yeah,
badness.
badness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So
yes.
so in the initial state, that's what's cool. That's
Yeah.
what's giving the likes.
Yeah.
That's what's making
But that is
it
what the girls
popular.
and them want. That is
You
what the girls
understand?
want to see the bad
So-
boy. They
Yeah.
want to see him. So in other words, if I had a, because remember the whole thing is that when some of these guys trying to establish themselves, as a man,
Yeah.
I had to be the baddest. I had to be the baddest one out. You understand? Me and taking no talk from nobody. I slapping you down. You understand? So that ranking mentality,
Yeah.
that they move with. It's because again, there's nobody guiding them to an
Correct.
actual reality of
It's not
what
being
it
managed.
Yeah.
means to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what
It's
is
just
crazy?
sad.
When I was in school, and that wasn't too long ago, that was like about, I didn't say Form 1, Form 2. I was never exposed to the consequences of these things, like obviously you go to jail, you will see people, these things. And I always had that fear, or not really fear, but respect for authority, just out of, you are abiding by a system, you had a thing. today.
You're home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
everything.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
out of respect for the authority, I wouldn't just smoke in the school, run out of the school, come back. What kind of madness? Now children doing whatever they want.
Normal.
And it's like, you know,
Yeah.
There's
whatever
no,
doing
there's
something.
no regard. There's no
Yeah.
regard
So it's
for
like,
authority.
oh, society has changed within that short space of time. 'Cause it wasn't just me. It was the majority of my peers. Might have one or two off that were just in testing system. But now, nowadays, it's like testing system is the norm. Let me see what will happen. They're asking questions like, what will happen if I do this? Instead of just, it's so far reason, leave it.
Even when I was in school, this
Yeah.
was my last.
Go with the same age.
Same thing. Right? And I think one of my peers was on the bad side, and he stole one of the Form 1's phone. I actually hold him up and give him the phone, something, whatever. And you know, you're thinking in that moment, you're bad thing, whatever, and then you realize, oh, a bunch of army men with rifles in the school looking for you. You now slap the sergeant child.
Right.
Oh.
So now, 3-4 army jeep pull up and his men coming out looking for you because you know slap the sergeant
And
child.
that is legal, eh?
Yeah. And they had to. Man was like, hey, what? Just give me the phone. I don't want to talk. Or else we deal with you. Right here, right now. And I was the quietest. I see somebody go from breathing up to just like, yeah, boy, fellas, just go and get the phone. And they just walk out quietly. These days, they don't know what it's like to, you know what it's like to see men in camo mask up with guns coming to look for you.
Yeah, bad man, no real bad man.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
when what
want
you
to
decline.
experience
That
that. I
Yeah.
do not want to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men trying to kill.
It has a thing
Not me,
I
man.
realized with and this is something I picked up with a lot of young men especially. I don't see it much with young women. I see it a lot of time with young men who struggle academically. They look for something that gives them a sense of worth,
Purpose.
authority, purpose, meaning.
Something like
And in many instances, they go towards being a delinquent, unruly, chaotic individual, because it gives them, I don't know how to explain it. It gives them something to hold on to, say that I exist in this space.
Yes.
You
I
understand?
totally
that's
agree
what
with
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
And,
They're
and
seeking attention.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
And
I-
trying to validate themselves. Sometimes it's overcompensation.
yeah. Because we have men, and I think many of them grew up into being men.
Mhm.
And again, because as we started saying, sometimes these things are not dealt with.
Yeah.
So they move from being that delinquent, chaotic, unruly child, and then they become a particular type of persona now in the society. Because again, remember, I never worked out how to establish myself as an individual
Identity.
in this space.
Yeah.
You understand? So how it is that in a situation like that, where we're seeing young men gravitating to behaviors, attitudes, or creating these masks or these personas to exist, how do we begin to lend some sort of aid?
They need to tour the jail. I have seen children.
No, that's not serious.
Yeah, they need to tour the jail.
Mhm.
Let them have a program where they let them go into the jails to see what if you keep going on this road, you end up exactly right here. Because in
Yeah.
school, but we used to play YTC, and we used to be fearful. Like, yeah, but if I fall you too hard, I might collect a slap, I might collect a cuff on my face, and that actually happened. Where one of the fellas on my team will feed a ranker, and then you meet the individuals your age who in jail. And he eats your slap, you ain't say nothing because you don't know people are like one slap, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you get quiet.
Yeah.
Because you're now dealing with somebody who's an actual convict.
Yeah.
But what about those who say that that's the pathway?
Right, but well,
Because I mean, I'm being real. We have young men that ranking.
That's their goal.
Yeah, they want
And
to
they're
be
fearless.
that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
want to be that individual.
I think it's important to understand too, all of them wouldn't be saved, you know. I mean, we could try,
Can't.
Whoa.
and we will try,
That's
Yeah.
it.
but
can't, because
That's it.
those who want to go down that path
Mhm.
and you can't stop them, go ahead and know. But at some point, you're going to be met with a force that you cannot deal with.
yeah.
So look at all the bosses over the years.
Mm.
They're either in jail or they're dead.
Yeah.
All the biggest names,
Yeah.
they're either in jail, even worldwide, they're either in jail or they're dead.
Yeah.
So at some point you'll be having this life where you have all the jewelry, all the women, all the cars, nice house, everything, but at some point you're going to be taken out, no matter what.
As a young man, I heard something, and I think that helped me put life in perspective. It makes no sense walking around having to look over your shoulder.
Correct.
When I heard that statement, I was like, wait now, so you could be how bad?
Correct.
You will
Have to.
be in a state of fear
Everywhere.
All the time.
all the time.
Listen. Yep. And basically that's the life.
Everywhere.
That's the life because you're constant. Because you're going against the law.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Right? You're going against it every day. Right? So that's why they build these fortresses and they recruit all these young men. You understand? To protect them.
Yeah.
You understand? So because of that constant, and even within there, because now loyalty is something that we don't appreciate anymore.
Yeah, that's
in
long time.
all
Yeah, that's long time.
Yeah.
And
So even with building these gangs and trying to recruit these guys, the loyalty factor, because them
Still always uncertain, yeah.
No, for real.
Who willing to do something, take something
That's
to
right.
deal with you or to
So-
sell you out.
So mentorship is one of the ways we can try to help
Yeah.
these situations.
Yeah.
And like what you said, Cohen, we can't save everybody,
Yeah.
but we have to try to build these communities and foster these persons who are willing to go into, and go into the schools and go into the camps and have camps in your community.
Yeah.
You understand, that will be able to move away from so many of the values that we grow up on.
Yeah.
You understand?
As Quincy said,
That
very
we
different,
see the effects of it. You
And
know?
even as we're talking about men are the leaders. So if the men are not
present.
in tune or they don't have their identity intact, then what's going on with the rest of society? Because these men in 7 years going to be the majorities
Yeah,
of
well,
society.
yeah.
So what then?
touch on that where he said about the lifestyle that these men like to go down. What I realize is they don't leave their area. They can't go everywhere.
They can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell
So
me
your
that
life
you-
becomes limited. and all.
literally, so you just in your area, in your house, in the street, just all the time?
Yeah, that's
What
it.
is comfortable about that? What is freeing about that? And then what you have to look at too is when you go somewhere in public, you now make yourself a target and the other people around you are targets.
Yeah.
So, for example, when a young lady got killed last year because of who she was with, he alive, you dead. And they come to kill me, but they kill you. So, even again, I went to boat ride some time back and I was seeing known criminal faces. And I became real uncomfortable, like, hey, what if something pop off now?
Yeah.
What's going on happen?
Yeah.
Because these other guys want these men dead.
Yeah.
So, what kind of lifestyle did really turn out to?
And I think it's important to understand that some of these young men think they don't have a choice. Huh? So they're the ones that they're in the situation, they don't want to be in the situation.
Yeah, but they haven't then seen no
But
avenue.
they're not
no
seeing
avenue
any way out.
outside. Yeah.
So we still have to be understanding and not too judgmental.
Yeah.
And say, well, you are yourself there and you.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Some of them
And then we have to
can't get
look
out.
at it from the other perspective too. For those of us, these guys give these fellas what they want, what they need.
Correct.
You understand?
Mm.
So you get a new pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A gold chain.
I'll
Gold
get some
chain.
cash.
Correct.
You understand?
Yeah, yeah. So the define life
While
once you're looking this way,
like
you're
you,
good.
like you said,
Yeah.
judging and saying da. That's what they're luring them with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? And with that too, we don't have appreciation for delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Everybody, I've had
No.
conversations
No,
with guys
no.
who say, I can't go and work for $3,000 a month. I
Yeah.
can make that
In a
in
night.
a day.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
One
So
hit.
they want it over. They want it now.
Yeah.
And that's what they're selling the dream.
But
That's
if-
why they continue to do it.
Yeah.
But the end thereof is
Oh, man.
destruction.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
I remember when I was fella do laugh.
But that's what I got.
Bro, I don't know why every time somebody says that, I just want to laugh.
Do laugh. When I was growing up in my community, there was a guy who he was definitely trying to recruit young men to get them involved in certain things, because he was known to be involved in certain illegal activities. And he tried a lot with my little brother and myself, because we were the younger of the set. My older brother then would have been like around his age and stuff, but they working and stuff. So you find that we in the streets, we kicking ball, and that kind of stuff, or by the corner, train some ball in the ring. Them time I can say I playing basketball, I was training ball in the ring. But I remember him, and as how he was using the his words. So he tried to give me this name. Don't laugh. But he tried to give me this name, Alan. Trigger Ligger. Trigger Ligger.
If you come to kill me, I laugh at that.
Right?
Trigger Ligger.
I quit. Go ahead, quit. Get it on, quit.
I know. If you come, if I hear Trigger Ligger, I gonna laugh though.
That's a new name, you know.
Hey, that was right.
But if I say my
How did he come up with that?
One time.
No, how he came up with that is because he was trying to sell me the idea of being you could be a top gun man with him. You understand? So that was how he used to make it sound like a real ranking thing now. You understand? No, again, I didn't have my father around, right? So these are like some of the male images I seen around. So people like him and a couple others I know of, the badness, and that life was that was it. Sometimes I come outside and kick ball, and because you see in big stone and bottle pelting in the road because two men were in. You understand? And they were trying to draw us in to that type of environment. So I'm just saying that on the heels of, as you all would have identified, that there are young men who in many instances, because they don't have, I just had, thank God, God rest her soul, right? My mother, strong woman, 6 boys, 3 girls.
Wow. 6 boys.
Right?
Wow.
6 boys, 3 girls. Right?
Right? Trouble upon trouble.
And what's me? We know, the boys know, you do not step out of line with this short woman.
That's right.
Easy stop.
The girls know, stay in line with this woman. Miss Olive? Miss Olive, that was her name in Valencia.
Because she had to
be that.
Because 6 boys, you have to.
And the thing is that she was, and that's what I was saying. I was saying earlier on, man, that I didn't have my father living, right? But I don't, as I said, I don't refer to him as being absent. He would, he had his place. But I'm saying that to say that, a lot of times young men, right, the images that they're seeing around them become these templates for so many of them. Right? And it's really necessary for proper, healthy, real, as you said, real men, to show what it is to actually be a man. Because again, if it is that they're being fed these concepts, being bad, drinking rum and being drunk all over the place, because some of them grow up, and I know of guys I grew up with, Marlon. I go back, sometimes when I visit Valencia, I see some of them the same lifestyle, some of the older men that's drunk, right? Because that is what they would have seen a lot of the other men. You understand? So that is what they know, and they pattern, So that imagery, I think, is so important for children on the whole, but for young men to know that, hey, there are these images that are actually healthy and worth
so some of them need a lifeline. Somebody needs that extra pull, somebody to be able to throw that line out and wheel you out, and wheel you from that to show a different perspective. Some of us were fortunate to get that lifeline. Whether it be church, Sunday school, another positive figure in this society.
I had a guy in my community. He had a shop, and I remembered for the same holiday. My father only booked him Monday.
Well,
holiday. But I remember him giving us his chicken depot to run.
Right.
Keep
You
them
understand?
busy.
Yeah. So he would, he would give young men. Sometimes you give us a weekend, he might give another 2 young men a weekend. Come and run the chicken depot.
That's
right?
a lifeline.
Yeah.
We the chicken. And that's how you weigh them out and you give the customer the cost. And he allow you to collect the money and to give him and stuff. So, it was again one of those images in there that is saying, hey, this is a direction you should be heading in.
And who doing that for the young men in the community today?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Not much.
They're opening them in for the wrong things.
Yeah.
So that's why we need more of these. More of these uncles, entrusting people and raising up. And I think also, I know the church have a responsibility as well.
Yeah.
Not that the church is not active or not doing anything, but to be more present.
Yeah.
Outside, opening, because sometimes I have the conversation, we have all these huge buildings, you understand, and that's just closed whole week. You understand, until Sunday morning. Let's come up with some programs. Do something. You might be able to save 1 or 2. You understand? Get some of the mature people who are retired from this and give them responsibility. Let them come, you understand, have conversations, to teach a skill, do something.
And I think it definitely would have the people that would volunteer their time. So it's just really putting things in place.
Structure. Yeah, and making the presence. Yeah, because we could talk about the issue and the problems from now until. Yeah. But if we can't come up with solutions, then it's just talk.
Problem will always be there watching you in your face.
I think one of the things that young men and I remember I had this conversation with somebody. One of the things that young men need is to understand that there are men willing to help them.
Yeah.
Correct. Sometimes if you feel like everybody is again. I remember on the court where we play, there was some younger. You feel anything now and again, younger fellas, and you can't talk to them. Sometimes even this comes to a technique or advice on you can't talk to them. They don't want to hear. So they feel like they know. So you find out you have to actually. And I see some of the seasoned older guys who know about this type of mentality from younger. When I've seen them, I remember there was one whole time people tell him and he just say, nah, I don't want to hear anything and and he just say, boy, come, call him one side. And he say, boy, what's me? If you want to become so, you want to be able to do this, this is what you had to do. And and you could have seen that fatherly impact. Yeah. Because he took him from that little hostile place where he feeling that somebody coming down at him and attacking him and saying nobody's not attacking you. They're actually trying to help you.
At a point, that individual, he had to learn, because when you're talking to him, man, he just not listening. You say, all right. So for example, where Big Mike, very hard to mark because he's huge. Very hard.
You call Big Mike for
he's huge. But he's huge and he could move. So he's very hard to mark. And we trying to tell him, you can't mark there. Like, you pick a man, you stick to somebody who's close to your level. You want to mark him, and be like, okay, go right ahead. Straight to 12.
You punish him.
Straight to 12. Nobody do nothing, straight to 12.
Wow.
And we try to show him, now you see why. It's not to say you wouldn't get it, but
you're not there yet.
You're not there yet. So you're trying to mark somebody who playing basketball since he's a baby.
I think my bro here was pointing out that's valuable is knowing how to communicate.
That's
that communicating, that skill, that's a muscle that we had to learn to work.
And not take things personal.
I
say sometimes we just take things personal. So you coming against me, I'm the authority. You can't take things personal. One of the other things too is to understand, just like you said, understand the fact that it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
How you see
it. How you see it. Right? And when you see how he was able to pull him aside. You understand? Use different angles in getting the same message across. Right, so we have to be sensitive. Read the room. Yeah, to be sensitive in that as mentors, as people who are trying to help.
Yeah.
Don't get frustrated
Yeah.
when the first angle you try didn't work.
Didn't work, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Nah, them just stubborn. Them like the wheel. Let me just leave them. You understand? But now you have to sit back, watch. Sometimes it's just walls, you know.
Yeah.
Walls of being put up from being disappointed,
Yeah.
from not being heard enough.
Yeah.
You understand? Nobody asking me how I feel about the situation.
Yeah.
Everybody just come to tell me what they think. You
But-
understand?
but
So
do you
sometimes
think-
these things are walls, but we have to find the skill
Yeah.
to break those walls down.
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted to touch on the point that you made in terms of asking me how I think, how I feel. But is that a question that is even considered for men? Because I mean, it happens from young. Many a time we were talking about it, you fall long. When you want to hear how you feel like that boy,
Yeah.
when you get up
Get up and go again.
Yeah.
and you're crying, big boy like
Big
you,
man like
big
you
boy,
crying.
big boy like you crying, boy get up.
We have to be sensitive to the moment, guys. I had an interview a couple of weeks ago, right, on my program, and there was this testimony of this married couple, right? The husband was overwhelmed from life and certain things. He had a bad day, and they went to bed, and he couldn't sleep. Right, everything was so heavy on him, and he sat up and tears. He literally started crying, and his wife turned. You know, she got up and was like, "What's going on with you?" Yes, and when she realizes, she's like, "Man, what's going on with you? I had a plate of food for you. I made sure you're good. What is your problem?" In that moment,
Yeah.
you understand? No sensitivity to us, or automatically she made it about her.
Stop it.
Automatically she made it about her and what I have done.
Yeah.
You understand? I give you a clean house and cook the food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
other than that, what could be your problem?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So understanding the fact that,
Yeah.
and these are real instances
Yeah.
that happen because one, we don't have the space, bro.
Yeah.
You understand? And then we don't have the trust. And I was listening to the program when I was coming here. Another part that we talk about the vulnerability
Yeah.
and understanding that vulnerability is a strength and not
Yes.
a weakness.
Yeah.
But knowing where to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because
you want to put that all over.
yeah, sharks and wolves out there.
Right. But my home and my spouse,
Yeah.
Supposed to be able to.
That's
Yes.
supposed to be a safe space.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a place where I can fall apart, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
let me just add in terms of, because sometimes, and I mean the reality is sometimes the spouse is very challenged. Sometimes there are some women who detrimental to men.
Because they themselves don't know because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
their
No, they-
environment.
We established that. Don't say there
Yeah,
are
they got
some.
some
What did I say?
counseling.
Some.
I
Right?
told him you need therapy.
Yeah. Right? But there are some. So I'm just saying that, you know, even in the case that, let's say, you know, if the spouse is not, there still needs to be
Yeah.
somewhere or someone. And I think what is necessary is maybe for men to be able to identify who or where is a good place, and there has to be something that I don't know if that is something that a man has to develop,
Yes.
that he has to be able to identify.
Yes.
You understand?
Emotional intelligence has to be at play when it
Yeah.
is you deciding who I could trust, who I could talk
And
to,
discernment.
who I could discernment.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Discernment.
Discernment.
Discernment. Because we also have to learn to the fact that we are spirit beings.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there are spiritual connotations to different things.
Yeah.
Right? And we have to develop that as priest, as head.
Yeah.
We have to develop that as well to be able to navigate through different spaces.
Yeah.
To understand that discernment as to who I can. And sometimes discernment comes with feeling first. Yeah? And then learning from that, knowing what not to do. Because that's a lesson as well.
Failure is the
Yeah.
best teacher.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And then you move through. It's a hard
I want
rebound.
to add something.
It's
Go
a
ahead,
hard
you
rebound,
finish.
but we have to
Yeah.
come to that place
Yeah.
where we understand. Because if I go to my brother here and he's not helping me, why would I continue to do that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because now then I'm hurting myself.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with here anymore.
Mhm.
Because I continue to go there, and what he has to offer is not helping me in
Not
one.
substantial.
Not substantial. You're not
Yeah.
doing anything for me.
Yeah.
But I continue to go there.
Yeah.
You understand? So now I have to reevaluate and make that decision.
Yeah.
Now some people looking on my say, like, he's a wicked fella, boy.
Hmm.
But I am self-destructed. I'm bringing that onto myself.
And I think it's important as men to know who we could fail or wrong.
Mhm.
Failure is something that could be used against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you have to pick yourself up and go again.
Mhm.
You don't want that person in your ears. Remember you failed last time?
Mhm.
What are you trying to do here?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
The pressure
So
is a lot. To
yeah.
Men have a lot
Yeah.
to deal
Failing.
with. Not minimizing what women have to go through,
Mhm.
but we just do have the same grace.
Facts. Facts.
We do have the same
Facts.
grace.
Is it that society has just been unfair to men?
Yeah.
Is
No,
it
well,
that?
we kind of responsible for that, because
Mhm.
society was built by men.
Well, good by men.
So-
So, like I can ask.
Yeah.
I just
It's a
the
monster that
norms.
we fed.
Those some of them schools I thought need to burn
Yeah.
and bring it, crash it all the way down.
Yeah.
Because erroneous teachings,
Yeah.
and we are seeing the negative effects of those things. So even when we was discussing mental health,
Yeah.
right here in Trinidad, when our mental institution, the highest population is men. The
Hmm.
intake in
Men.
our mental institution is the male.
I was hearing some stats at a time, and they were saying like 1 in 4. I think it's 1 in 4
1 in 4
have
intake.
mental issues, serious mental issues. 1 in 4 in the population of Trinidad and
It's
Tobago.
crazy when you actually see the effect, and then you start rethinking all these things. Because
Yeah.
if that is how we're supposed to be, then the effect on us is saying something totally different.
Yeah.
Because if we say we are built that way,
Mm.
not to be emotional, not to talk, not to be silent, that's not how we were designed.
Yeah.
Then what is causing this fallout?
Yeah.
You understand?
It had to be that that's a lie. Yeah.
Hmm.
We have to rethink that.
Yeah.
Quincy, I know say as two young, younger guys. I mean, some of the experiences that Cohen and Marlon and myself would have had in life in itself, not just relationship, but life in itself. I didn't have your experience.
You know what? I wish I didn't have my experience.
I understand. So I you know what I mean. But in terms of for you guys as younger fellas, what does it look like in terms of the that movement towards family and managing a home? What does that look like for you? And asking you all as younger fellas,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
kind of
I'm interested
Yeah.
to hear the responses.
You first.
Alright, well, I go first. I grew up with both my mom and my dad, right?
Yeah.
And an older sister. So I believe I had the typical nuclear family of society.
Right.
So, to be honest with you, advancing, I've always thought of the family as like a place, as a group of people that you could depend on.
Okay.
So let me say, like I'm a son, right? So I go out, whatever challenges I face, I will be able to go home and express myself freely. I should be able to.
Right.
So that is something that I look for, and I want to continue that in my life, because
Okay.
ever since I was maybe like in standard 5 going into Form 1, 2, I always wanted a young family. Like I older now, I realize it ain't happening because not really anything with me or the women or nothing like that. It's just that's not how it
Life.
wanted to be life.
Right.
Yeah, but at the end of it all, that's still my main goal in life, to have a family, to be able to carry on the teachings I learned,
Okay.
the principles, the values, and to have that keep going on,
Right.
to keep being productive in the society. So hope that it will be.
So your experience moves from one generation to the
Yeah.
next.
That's basically it for me.
What do you say?
For me,
So you want to drink? You have a little bit of water.
growing up, I grew up with my mom, dad, and my brother. I am the last of 5. So I am the baby.
We're siblings.
Yeah, I'm
You
the
only
baby.
had one or no?
I was the last of 5. So technically, I have 6 parents.
Oh gosh.
Technically,
Oh.
I really
Yeah, boy.
I have
Yeah,
6
I get
parents.
this 100%.
And I was the troublemaker. Everybody else, cool, calm in school. Me? He do this, he do that. Come and see about this, come and see about that. He keep talking too much. He slap somebody. Yeah. But growing up, yeah, I was wild.
Wow.
So, but that family aspect for me, I always wanted that family. And society these days, they don't really push that anymore.
Yeah.
They
Nope.
don't push that having a family. No, they don't want to have any children. And no, nothing is wrong with that. And that's your own personal beliefs, fair. But to me, that family aspect of having like an empire behind you, you're leaving behind something for other people to remember.
Facts.
You know, because they could say, okay, like, yeah, this he become that, yeah, that Koshi son, that is Koshi daughter. So have people talk about your children at a high level. I want to experience that. For people to be proud of your children,
Yeah.
so you could hear the good things people saying about your children, and like, I want to experience that. I really, really would like to have a family to experience that fatherhood where, yeah, what? I have something to be proud of. I have something to leave behind. And not worried about anything. Children will give you trouble. Is a fact. But to have a family that you could look upon and have that fortress behind you where here was something wrong and you could fall back on them to see about you. Nothing beating that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in society have like a negative aspect on marriage where they think like you had to be at a certain age to get married.
Correct.
Cross this, cross that 30s. And one of the main reasons they would say is you don't have no experience, is a child. But then what would you really consider experience? Is like people will use that as an excuse to say, nah, I'm not going to get married now. I will wait till I live my life. But what is living your life? That's a bigger question. So it's like,
oh, they're wild.
Yeah,
They have
like
3
where-
children with 3 different people. And we fell up see that.
yeah, so
We fell up see that. That's what they call living life. They're going out there to have their fun and do whatever the hell they want. And then they want to settle down later on in life, and they always work out like that.
yeah, it won't. And I'm just saying people that will push the narrative for the next generation. Live your life. Don't get
Correct.
married. You can look at this one, look at that one, but look at yourself.
Because what they push to in our generation is marriage is being tied up.
Yeah.
A relationship is being tied up.
Yeah. I'm hearing that a lot.
And you want to be free, you want to go and do whatever with whoever you want to. You want to come back home when you want to and do whatever the hell you feel like you please. But marriage is not being tied up. Marriage is having somebody behind your back. Somebody who know you inside and out. Who you could call, pick up that phone and call them, and they know they go and come straight to you, they'll drop everything. They don't see that.
Yeah.
They see in here what? I had to be home by a certain hour, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to clean house, I had to wash car, I had to pay mortgage. They see the negatives. But that's not negative. That is what life is.
Because anyhow you take it, you have to do them things.
Yeah, do them things.
But
Whatever, I don't know.
And you had the responsibility.
They see it as having matrimony as a negative thing. And then they go on to say, oh, wedding's so expensive and
I've heard this argument where men say, nah, if I build something and then we divorce, she gonna take half of what I built.
Yeah.
So you actually enter in it
Yeah.
and
With that in mind.
you start bad.
Yeah.
Correct.
Very
you
bad.
don't enter in thinking it's not gonna work.
Correct.
So you don't put in your mind, this not gonna work out.
Yeah.
If this don't work out, I gonna lose this, that, and this. But at the end of the day, it also comes to you choosing your partner correctly.
And they do put that on themselves and they don't say,
Correct.
well, let me be cautious as
Correct.
to how I
Because
choose.
even with
Yeah.
what I dealt with, my very close person, he was like, part of this is your fault. Part of this is your fault.
You better because that man put you in check. Like,
No, like
in check.
after every all
you let you know, don't just pass the blame on somebody else.
Just that person, part of this is your fault because I sure for yourself.
Yeah, that's
You would have see the signs,
The
you would have see
signs.
certain things, and you chose to ignore it, and now you end up in this. Now it's unfortunate, yes, but now You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
If that's
A
simple.
learning experience.
But again, with the going into the marriage where I want to lose this and lose that, you done start bad already.
Yeah.
So you done, like, thoughts just come to life. And people don't realize that. You could think about something in the next 5 minutes and happen. So when you start to think about your marriage where it's not going to work out, like I'm lost if she this and that, you don't put out to the universe already. And it will come back to you. So you had to be positive. You had to just keep that positive mindset where, what? This is my wife, you rolling hard. My marriage is not going to be perfect. You will have arguments, you will have times where you're talking to each other. It happens. But you could always work through that.
I remembered my very early in my marriage, my wife, she was working at the company that she was working at. She was working in a male dominated environment. Trust me, that ride on my mind plenty. Because these fellas and them are poachers.
And what they do, they want to is, even in today's society and even when all was coming up, men don't care if you're who married, who wife, what they don't care.
It gets worse now when
It's
it's
like
like
horrible now.
like I witnessed some conversations on work. I was like, you just married people talking these type of talks to them.
Literally walk up to I see this. You have a man, how much you love him? What?
I could do one better, but
Yeah, that's wild. That
What do you
is
mean?
wild.
How much you like? And I had to let him know, dog. Take it out. She have somebody. You can clearly tell she's serious. Go and find somebody else. But nah, I stuck on she looking good.
I tell you, I had them the poachers on my ten. It had one so slick. You got when she's working in the environment, so she would she would build her rapport on her her friendship and stuff. And had one, he was so slick. He get good with my mother-in-law. Good.
That man going the distance, boy.
No, I tell you, for me, and I understand. I mean, these were phases that we had to work through, right? And I knew it's like one of them that's waiting, like that's waiting for the moment. You understand? And I saying that to say that even as a man, you have to know. Listen, relationships will come with challenges.
Correct.
You look at this lady, and something about this lady catch your eye. It's not only your eye she would catch. You understand where I'm coming from? You had, because I've seen too many men get into unnecessary brawl because we watching my girl for. Well, if the girl looking good, I should be glad. I mean, if only you, I mean, if only you have, watching, then I ain't saying something wrong with her. You understand? But, but at the end of the day,
just be respectful.
Yeah, exactly.
Be respectful.
You understand? I mean, it's not like you're going to,
but the men these days, they're watching like they want to eat your woman.
No, but that's something I used to struggle with a lot to know because I used to find, well, why are you looking so good? You going out there looking like this? My man going on, go with you.
Yeah.
So I struggle with that for
no, I'm telling you, and it's something that you have to actually deal with it. I on work.
But also,
I on work. For me to be thinking about.
Also, your girlfriend's respect for you.
Well, of course, yeah.
So she could go, well, obviously not in wherever she wants. I mean, strings and things here.
Yeah.
Time going on there, no fluff.
Oh my lord.
No fluff. I understand.
But at the end of the day, you could go out there and however a man approach you, you had to know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. I remember being on work at a junction, I studying, talking to who trying, and then I came to myself and I said, wait.
Yeah. That's too much.
Exactly. No, that wasn't. I had to realize, why you putting all of that weight on yourself? You understand?
Hey, remember
that name,
He was waiting till you
I had it because you see that could have bred so much thing in me, man. That could have made me so insecure.
It was a level.
You understand? Yes, wanting to show.
Imagine how much men go through that, and they don't know how to pull themselves out.
To deal with it. I tell you, it have men who don't understand how to deal because you see, at the end of the day, can only really be responsible for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? So I had to bring myself to place and say, you know what? I'm going to be the best husband I could be.
That's right.
Do what I need to do
Work
as
on
a
you.
father.
Yeah.
And that is it, you know.
Facts.
However,
So when she goes
honestly,
out there, she wants to come back to you.
Yeah.
You
Don't
understand?
give her any reason.
You know, and I mean, the thing is, man, I will even say, if it is that she decides to,
Let it be on her.
let it be on
Yes,
her.
all
You understand what
on
I'm
her,
saying?
because
It's not because, you
you
know,
be
you
best you
do,
gonna be.
yeah,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? Because I know of brothers who have been champions as fathers, as husbands, and found themselves on the bitter end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's not on them. It's not like they did anything wrong. Or it
Correct.
just, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes the women, you know, bad decision, something within themselves. Because remember, they're dealing with things as well. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just saying that, you know, as a man, you had to do
That's too much to
something.
carry.
Yeah.
Don't carry them kind of,
That's
you understand?
You
Yeah.
can
Because
function
you-
during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
can
you
function
don't mind.
You ain't good for
She's
yourself.
Yeah.
You ain't good for
At
she.
that point,
Exactly.
You just creating fake scenarios in your head.
Yeah.
Overthinking.
And listen, you going outside to make them thing real. You know?
Oh, you mean
Correct.
anything
Yeah.
anything will make it look, you know, like when you Google search
Yeah.
back pain and you see
Then
cancer
it's
in your
like-
bone.
Yes. Now when you're supposed to be in your job,
Yeah.
you try to drive by.
Yeah, yeah. Find a reason
Yeah.
to show
Just
up.
drive
Yeah.
by
I
the scene.
had
Yeah.
brethren though. who
No,
literally
that's too much.
like they thinking they woman and little whatever. Keep asking next brethren who can't 10 down. But my boy I can't buy, I feel like my girl so.
Yeah,
And he like
stuck, yeah.
he like yo, calm down.
Yeah.
If you want to go, you could go now with my vehicle. But dog gotta have trust.
Yeah.
And however she mess up, if you know you be the best you could be, then that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
And have the conversations.
Simple
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
that.
yeah, the
Yes.
conversation, yeah.
Simple
Yeah.
as that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it was a particular type of environment,
Yeah.
right? It would be difficult for her as well because
Mhm.
she has to adjust to all this
To deal with, yeah.
masculine.
Attention.
And the
It would be
attention,
attention,
all
yeah.
that.
Respond
Yeah.
to
Right?
Yeah,
So
Definitely.
we know we're going into this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You understand? Are you prepared? You
Yeah.
understand?
And again, it come back to it, right, Marlon? That kind of man talk about, you understand what I'm saying? Hey, I feel in that kind of way knowing that all of this
Yeah,
attention.
because
around you. You understand?
to
That's
play
being
it.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
That's
you
being
see
that
vulnerable in the
whole- yeah, you
space.
see that whole,
So
yeah, that
it's
whole
better to
cycle,
have a
yeah.
conversation with you than
Yeah.
creating these things
The
in my
conversation
head.
to myself.
Because
yeah.
now I'm going to not just create the thing in my head, it's going to start to play
Yeah.
in the home.
Mhm.
Because if she's supposed to finish 4 and it takes her half an hour to get home, and she
Yeah.
just
4:45
decides
is
to
late.
stop by Superfarm or Pennywise,
Correct.
and then it's like,
Are you
why you not reaching?
Yeah.
You understand?
You're supposed to be passing here at 4:12.
Yeah.
Stand. At
Save yourself from all that.
At 4:15,
Yeah.
this
And
light
have
supposed
the
to be on red.
conversation.
Yeah.
Listen, this is such and such.
Most
I-
important.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? Let's have the conversation.
I think some men don't want to have that conversation as well because they have the fear of it being over. Like it just go up in flames.
Mhm.
So some men are like,
So
I don't.
the insecurity.
Yeah, you have insecurity, so you don't want to talk.
That's
talk, like,
insecurity on top of
it ha-
insecurity.
No, it's like it has someone who wouldn't talk about
You know.
it because they fear it will just go up in flames and boom, she done there and that's it.
Yeah.
It has some men that really
Wow.
would
But
that
not
would do
having
that.
the conversation
Correct.
would lead to the relationship ending.
Facts.
Correct.
So the same thing you're trying to prevent
It's going to
Yeah.
happen
is
anyway.
going to happen
Yeah.
because now that you're feeding that and you would create problems.
Because if you
Yeah.
do
If you would
express,
start
she
creating
wouldn't think
problems.
anything
For
is
sure.
wrong.
But if you have the conversation and it leads to an end.
Then it ends.
So be it.
Alright.
Nah, so be it.
No,
No, but so
no,
be it.
seriously, because if you have the conversation, and again, because we you know, and I'm glad that we keeping it nice and open and real, because you might have that conversation and she might say to you, listen, I can't deal with this insecurity.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And want to sever ties.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
persons who will approach it like that.
Yes.
You understand? So
No.
you know how do you?
But then she's not mature. Because the fact that I'm coming to, I didn't have to talk to you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Could have gone to my own.
I
thing.
could have do
Mhm.
my own thing.
Yeah.
Create the scenarios, create more problems for you in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that shows I'm committed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I don't want to put this added pressure on you to tell you well now we are the lead our work.
Yeah.
Or something
It takes maturity to even carry that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it stems from even with your courtship. Because I find even in courtship we just like to keep the niceties and the butterflies and stuff and
Yeah,
be
that-
stray from having
be
tough.
Boundaries.
How do you willing to have it?
Conversations
Yes.
as well too.
Yes.
how are we
In
going to deal
courtship,
with this?
You have
You
to have
understand?
boundaries. Even when you're dating, you have to let them know, I like this, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And some people just do that because in the courtship you're nice up, you just want
So
to.
yeah, you're facilitating plenty
You're
things as well.
facilitating, correct, but then you're ignoring these things that you're not going to like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a sequence of stuff, and trust is something that has to be built over time.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm an advocate for effective communication.
Yeah.
You understand? What you don't say cannot be treated.
Right.
What you don't speak.
But
yeah.
so for the men who want to be better at communicating, what would you say is the first step?
Just talk.
No, nobody's.
You have to-
You have to.
You have to. Well, I think it's getting over yourself,
Correct.
right? Getting over the fact that.
Because sometimes
it's-
men have a
it's-
problem with saying the right words.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Can't-
Sometimes
Probably.
you're saying something.
I actually text better than I talk, depending.
Same
No,
here.
serious?
No, same here, same
No,
here,
no, no,
same
yeah,
here,
yeah,
same
yeah.
here.
It's
Same here.
sometimes
I
it's
think
easier
also
for me to
because
text
you're
than
not
I'm saying.
face to face to see that person's reaction.
Mhm.
Maybe.
But for me,
Maybe.
like, what I do if I had a guest on a golf match, I just take a deep breath down myself, just see what I had to say,
Yeah.
and however it swing and hang.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So it's just finding the right space, the right time, the
Yeah.
method. You have to be
I think it's just
intentional.
the anticipation, the
Yeah,
build up,
right.
this
You
You
habit.
try to
Because the
overthink
conversations-
things too much as
Mm.
It's simple, no,
person.
it's
As
simple
individuals.
conversation.
Simple. You understand? Even if you have to be a little more, because personality and characters are different.
Yeah.
If you have to be more structured, to say, okay, cool, at 4 o'clock, we do this.
Yeah.
By rituals, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it,
Yeah.
whatever it's necessary for you, because sometimes we are procrastination, right? So if you don't put it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
send a message like you say,
It
we gotta
ain't-
talk
yeah.
Yeah.
something on my mind, like we
It
talk
ain't
about
gonna
it later.
happen.
Now it holds yourself accountable to this. But if you keep it in your mind, then later come
Yeah.
tomorrow come
2 weeks.
nothing happens.
And then-
2 weeks. You understand? But
Yeah.
I think first we have to deal with ourselves, get over ourselves,
Yeah.
and realize that this is for the betterment of the relationship. And like you said, even if it does not work out because
Yeah.
I'm having this conversation, well then,
You see what you
Thank
had to
you.
say.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed
It
to
basically-
be.
Exactly.
It basically.
or it's just that we're not mature
Not at that
enough
place to-
at that time.
Yeah.
Because we have had relationships that ended and makes its way back.
It does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
right.
we're not
Yeah.
in the maturity to
Hmm.
handle that
Yeah.
season
Not me though.
that we
Yeah.
are in.
No, I think if you break up over a talk like that, then you just kind of save yourself from
Mhm.
Dodge a
something down
bullet.
in the long run.
Dodge a
Yeah.
bullet.
Even if you was to come back after like a few months or a year or years, you would be able to come back with a level of maturity that you didn't have when you had the conversation. So
I
you
think-
you could revisit the conversation.
Revisit.
Yeah.
And if it's the same thing, well, then
That perspective is so important
Yeah.
because there are some men that think if this conversation leads to the end, then that's so devastating.
Yeah.
Not understanding that if it
No.
leads to the end, that's you saving yourself,
Mm,
big
yeah.
man. Yeah.
We have a few more minutes, right, guys, and for being touched on a quarter of what we'd have liked, to, but I expected it. But here's the thing. Based on what it is you're saying, Marlon, and what we are alluding to right now, I think a lot of men live with a lot of fear. Because and the fear comes from so many different places. It comes from a place in some instances where how do I establish myself as a man? Because if it means if my manhood is hinged on a relationship and the success of a relationship, we talk in this conversation here, but if that man realizes that this leads towards the end
Yeah.
of what I have here, right? He could crumble, right? If it is that I tell you that this was one of the most I'm saying hilarious, but it was also sad. I remember on one of those courts I used to play ball. Not big up all my brothers in Malabar sweaters, like my boys and them. But I used to sweat in another court before. And a guy was telling us there, he said, you remember this guy, a brethren of theirs, went to do a thing with some lady somewhere. And the woman, and how he found out about it, the woman started heckling the man about his manhood and say, where you going with that, to do what, with who? And she was up and about the community talking about that. Now, if a man manhood and masculinity is hinged on his sexuality, that is crushing.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm saying that because I'm saying that for us to understand that there are things that men look to establish their manhood. And when those things seem to be threatened, it's a scary thing for a man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know. So it means therefore that one of the things we definitely have to, and we would have give some nuggets in our conversation, but definitely one of the things that we have to look towards would be to define, and that would be an individual thing. That's one of the major things. It's you as a man defining what does it mean for me to be a man. Now there are some principal things I believe, like, you know, being responsible, you know, taking accountability. Those are, you know, but as a man, you had to be clear on what it means and understand that there are some things societal that really and truly is it's chaotic.
Yeah, very.
It's toxic.
Misleading.
Misleading, and so many other words that you have to separate yourself from. You understand, like what Osei and Quincy was talking about. You know, young men who might be interested in anything, but if you are wrong men who give the idea that, you know, you being in a steady relationship, that is you know, you're not really living life. You understand? So you begin to question, oh, what it really means then to
See, men who tell you that itching and burning.
all over.
That's just a
All
fact.
over. Yeah.
Itching and burning, and I don't think people understand how dread that isn't. Like, these men will tell you, go and sleep with this one, don't have one woman, have multiple, and then them is the same men who had one test, who have multiple health issues, and they're not gonna express that, but they still living the life.
Yeah.
And I have seen it.
It's a facade.
It's a facade.
Yeah.
But then when the night come, you have to swallow 3, 4, 5 pills just to make sure you wake up the next day.
So guys, what I want to ask is, with the few more minutes we have, I mean, let's take from you all, at least we could leave leave some sort of, like, on that standpoint as to what might be a potential step from, you know, if we want to give one. What is that potential step that a man could make towards understanding how he defines himself? Because I feel, I mean, that's to me, I feel like that is a starting point, a necessary starting point for any man to begin to separate himself from some of the things that we would have spoken about that is toxic. So what are some of the things, you know, if you could just give?
I could speak for me.
Yeah.
For me, is really being connected to God and being guided by God as my source. Because, you know, in my early years, my confidence came from my competence, like how much I was able to do something, you know. But then, if you ain't able to do that thing anymore, then what's up, you know?
Right.
But when I started wrapping my identity into who God says I am, that is when my foundation was not shaken by external entities and circumstances. So I would say being connected to God, bro. Yeah.
That's a good point. On top of that, I would like to add to it, like, being able to stand your ground as a man in your beliefs, your morals, your values.
Being solid with it.
Yeah, because yesterday I watched this movie, The Passion of Christ. I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yeah.
There was a scene in the beginning of the movie where Judas was about to betray Jesus, right? And the priest tossed him 28 coins. So in that way, now he threw away his belief for coins.
Correct.
Now when they came and they arrested Jesus and they took him and they see how they beat him and all kind of thing, he now witnessing that came back to give the priest back the money and said, look, I don't need it again.
Too late.
The priest said, but that was the deal. You give him up, you give it. We don't want back your money.
Yeah.
So as
They
a
get
man,
what he wants already.
as a man, you have to be able to stand your ground and say, you know what? I believe in this.
Yeah.
I'm not going and step away from it.
Yeah.
Can't buy me.
Yeah, you can't buy me. 28 can't buy me just.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come real good. Look at that.
It's 28 million.
Nah.
Bro!
Yeah, to come real good.
What?
28 million. Come on, man.
Bro, you treaded some real dangerous growth, bro.
28 million.
No, but I finishing real quick in this economy. Yeah, they come real good.
Finish it quick for you. My just, I'm
So-
not it,
You know, Judas did not end up in a good place in that story, right?
Yeah. About 2,000 years ago.
Wow. Alright. Alright, bro. Alright.
She stepped towards a man, figure out yourself. Figure out you, what you like, what you don't like, what you will accept, what you wouldn't accept. As a man taking that step towards manhood is figuring out you and your life. If you had to put everything else on pause for that simple purpose, then do it. And that's it for me. Figure out yourself before you go and try to make something else and then it don't work out because you don't know what you want. And then you mess up something and then you mess up somebody else, you mess up your own life because you didn't figure out for yourself what you about.
Yeah.
So just figure out yourself.
That's big.
Just go back to the blueprint.
Hmm.
You know, like Cohen has said, go back to the original,
Yeah.
the plan for man. You know, we have to connect ourselves with God,
Yes.
the source, the one that created us, the one that has our life. He's the Alpha and the Omega,
Yeah.
the beginning and the end. So we have to connect ourselves with that. And from eons of time, that has always been our biggest fight.
Yeah.
You know, is connecting to our spirituality and staying, which would help us stick to our belief,
Yeah.
which will help us have a perspective of who we are,
Yes.
which will help us even when we doubt,
Yeah.
we can go back and fall to, okay, this is what the plan says.
Yeah.
Yeah? So that will be my thing. You know, we have to connect to the source.
Yeah.
You know, if we disconnect ourselves, reconnect again,
Yeah.
go back to the blueprint. This is the plan, you know, the manual for life.
Yeah.
Yeah? If something goes wrong, we go to the manual or we go to the technician.
Yeah.
Right? So, and again, as further as we go away from God, further as we go away from our spirituality, we end up in more problems.
Yes.
And we are seeing it daily. So, to get ourselves back in alignment, I would say, find ourselves back to God.
Yeah.
Find ourselves back to God.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for making the effort to be here this
Yeah,
evening.
man.
I think this is it's a good place. You know, I'm gonna just make mention. Guys, make sure you go and check out Marlon. He has a podcast. The Man Cave. The Man Cave, yeah. Check it out. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, some good stuff happening there. All right. And boy Cohen Osei Quincy. Thank you all so much for being on the inside. I just simply want to encourage men. You know, there's a lot we're dealing with, and as was shared, you know, let's begin to look for those spaces.
Yeah.
And
Healthy
healthy spaces, correct? You know, where we could really begin to grow, and this might sound too cute, so men mightn't like it. Blossom, you know, but as men, yeah, blue soon, right? But as men, that we could really come step forth in the society, because you know there's so much that is needed from us, but there's so much that we're dealing with that we have to deal with it.
That's right.
And I think that's something that Marlon would have definitely alluded to there. I think that we really have to deal with, and once we're able to deal with those things, we could begin to, you know, to make some strides forward, you know.
Right.
But guys, again, thank you all so much for being on the inside. Let's see our guy in the background there, the man Eric Alvarez, yeah, behind the camera doing his thing. Thanks so much, bro, for being on the inside with us and sharing this live. Yeah. So guys, look out for another one. It might happen sometime.
Yeah, man.
You know, we had these conversations going.
So,
Yeah.
My
So
pleasure to be
we
here.
out. Blessing as the King Convo. Have a good one, guys.